my name is Whittaker, and the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And it's another day, and Screenrant continues to be the little scamps that they are. We all love Screenrant dearly. We love them dearly. They're a bit bonkers, and they make lots of content. One guy, Thomas Bacon, who you cannot find on social media. I really wanted to try and find him on social media because he comes out with these articles every couple of days, and for him, it's really important. It's really important that the current era of Doctor Who is reconciled and accepted universally as Doctor Who. And it's really, really freaking fun. And it's like, why would he be trying so hard to do that? It's got Doctor Who written on it. You know what? It's made by the BBC. It's official. You know what? Why would he be trying so hard to establish that this thing, which for all intents and purposes is Doctor Who, is really Doctor Who? And the reason is because the audience went, nah, not so much. We came in with open mind. We wanted to like it. I really wanted to like it. I think that was the vast majority of fandom. And then slowly but surely, one by one of us got turned away from this revolting abomination that they call Doctor Who, which is like the antithesis of Doctor Who. And eventually we got to the end of season 12 when they had the Timeless Children, which is where most people got off the got off the current era train. I think it was kind of like Game of Thrones. That last season, I was holding out. I was like, they had that big battle at Winterfell, and I was like, well, that's pretty good. But people knew what was going on better than I did. People who understood the source material far better than I did. They were all like, this is terrible. This is where, and they were all completely right. So basically, it's the amount of time that it took before you had like a real, fandom breaking moment when most fandom came together and says, nah, not so much. So anyway, ever since then, it's been really important to them. To establish that this is Doctor Who. And again, the reason they're trying so hard is because I think the fans are basically saying, nah, it's not, and I think that's why they're freaking. And yeah, it will be okay, if the fans said no, but the audience said yes, if it still maintained reasonable viewing figures, or they could sell merchandise, it will be fine. There'll be no problem whatsoever, but they can't. So what can they do? They can put out nonsense articles like this that we're going to be looking at in a minute, and then in response to that, I think we should just read them and have a bit of a laugh. I do. I think having a bit of a laugh in general is really a very, very, very good thing. A very, very good thing indeed. And I think it's something that we should be able to do, more freely and openly than we do right now. But before we get there, can I ask you guys, can you hit the like button? That's nice. I like you hitting the like button. Can you hit the share button? The share button is actually very, very nice. Thank you very much. But really, the button I really want you to get to press, what I really want you to get pressed is the subscribe button. Can you hit the subscribe button? I'm getting, over 1,800 subscribers. If I can get to 2,000 by the end of the year, that would be fantastic. Just click that button and make my day. Really good. And I have to tell you, it genuinely, I'd say it's every video, but it always remains true. And it genuinely makes my day, makes me much, much happier. Fine. So if you do subscribe, other than making me happy, which, what more bloody reason do you need than that? You also get to enter. Oh, and also, obviously, you get to know when I'm putting out videos. I put out videos pretty much every day. And listen, I can't imagine the world where people go, really? The Rabbi says something? I better listen to it. I can't imagine anybody not falling into that, that circle in the Venn diagram. And it does seem to be, the thing that blows my mind about YouTubing is you get people who like and agree with you generally, and people who find you entertaining, but you get people who absolutely despise you, and they can't stop watching. Like, if I don't like something, I generally stop watching, but they hate watch, intently. I was up until I think Orphan 55, hate watch the current era of Doctor Who. It went from I hope this is good, at the beginning of season 11, I was like, this is gonna be good, I'm on board for it, and middle of the season, I'm like, this is not very good, and by the end of the season, I hate this, and I was hate watching it, and I basically watched it to see how bad it was, until we got to Orphan 55, which was, it just reached new lows for me. It was, and amazingly enough, it got worse after that. And then, from that moment on, I just didn't want to watch it. I didn't want to watch it. I really don't. I watched it because it makes great content for the channel, gives me something to talk about, gives me something that people can tune into and like. But other than that, I really dislike watching because it's awful. Yeah, same with all these things. Same with Discovery. Same with Rise of Skywalker. They're all freaking awful. They're all awful, and I don't enjoy watching any of them. And I never expect any franchise thing to be good anymore. I just don't want where we are. Anyway. So those people are crazy. Those people are crazy. So you guys should subscribe as well. That was a bit of a tangent. But of course you can also enter my weekly competitions. The prize right now is Robots of Death, a fantastic story in a terrible cover, absolutely terrible cover. You get this fan made cover as well because you deserve it. You deserve better than that direct they put out. All you need to do to win it is subscribe to the channel and in the comments leave the hashtag Taron Capel. There's not many entries in this one, by the way. So if you enter, you're probably going to be in luck. Doing the prize draw tomorrow. I should have done it on Sunday, but I didn't have a new prize picked and I was tired and lazy and I didn't want to do it. Fine, let's look at this article from Screenrant. These little scamps over at Screenrant. Oh, why is it not coming up? Let's go over here maybe. And I go over here and that should do it. Doink. There you go. Thank you very much. So this article is Doctor Who theory. The Master is a timeless child too. Well, here's the truth. If the Doctor, no one's a timeless child. The first thing is no one's a timeless child because it takes an acceptance by the audience to make something codified. Yeah, you have something similar in Jewish law. Something in Jewish law is like something a legal I'm a rabbi, by the way. If there's a legal precedent for something, and again Jewish law that you're supposed to do this thing. We have these things on Jewish laws called mezuzahs, which is this little scroll that you put on there, put on the door. And it's traditional to touch it and kiss it as you go into touch it and kiss your hand. Normally it's too high up. Touch it and kiss your hand. You go. A lot of people do that. A lot of people don't. It's not like that big a deal. But that whole bit, the whole legal Jewish legal bit of that, when you touch it, there's supposed to be this verse you say as well, and nobody does that. And the the logic within the law of it is incontrovertible. You should say that verse as you touch. So why don't we? Because it's something really important as well. There's another aspect. Jewish law needs to be accepted by the population to become codified. So so a lot of things that aren't Jewish law became Jewish law because the population started doing it. And a lot of things I'll say fewer things didn't, because the population didn't accept that thing with the touching the mezuzah scroll. It's just one of many examples, and the same is true with everything. You can impose something from above, right? But it's got to be accepted from below, and we just haven't accepted the timeless children at all for many reasons. It blows up Doctor Who canon. That's just one reason, but many others. It's crap. It's just really bad. The problem with the Doctor being not being a Time Lord and having infinite regenerations means that essentially she's everybody. Everybody is a Doctor. Now the idea was that they can then make the Doctor be more people. The Doctor didn't just need to be white and male, which is saying they can't stand. They cannot stand it if you are a white male, and especially a white male not apologizing. If you're a white male like Patrick Stewart through Picard saying I'm so sorry, they can just about put up with that, right? They can. But other than that, if you're not apologizing, no. So they can't stand the Doctor being exclusively white man. And honestly, look, I do think. Given the racial demographics of England, it's a bit. It's a shame. It's a shame we haven't had any darker skinned doctors. It's a shame. I don't think there was a malicious intention. I do think Matt Smith's Doctor was originally supposed to be Patterson Joseph. That was the rumor that I heard, which I believed. I thought it would be a fantastic. I think it's a bit old now. Would have been a fantastic choice. But then, happenstance happened. Matt Smith walked in, and he was perfect. He was absolutely perfect in the role, and I think it was the first guy that Moffat saw. It's like, and there's nobody got better than him. I think Amy. Was it Amy Pond? What's her name? Was the last? Which one of them was the first, one of them was the last, right? And it's what was it? Karen Jelly, and yes, a perfect combination. And I don't think that was any form of people being malicious about it. It was just like they went for the best person for the job, which people who are advocates of identity politics cannot understand. I saw a whole thread on Twitter, and I hate Twitter. I saw a whole thread on Twitter going, well, what's it mean? Best person for the job? Does the best person have to be the whitest? These people are absolutely crazy. Now, the reason I say they're absolutely crazy is because I come from a weird foreign place that I can never go back to. A weird foreign place called the 80s, from the 80s. And I also lived in a place called the 90s and the 2000s. And back then, nobody cared about your skin color or your religion or your ethnicity or nobody cared. I had a great interview yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? With a woman doing a really good Indiegogo. You should really check it out. Called about Charlie Chaplin. It looks freaking gorgeous and especially licensed as well. Now she was so her parents are. I think her father is a Turkish Muslim and her mother is a Farsi Jew, and that's the normal way things are supposed to be, No, nobody's supposed to be uptight about these weird things. But then I'll say starting in around 2010s, it started to come in. By 2015, we're drowning in this sheer racist insanity. So anyway, part of this racist insanity, they said, well, if we got to have lots of people with lots of different skin colors and genders be the doctor, so people can relate to the doctor. It's not really working out so well. Not really working out so well. I think people who like Doctor Who, women who like Doctor Who, liked it when it was really Doctor Who. Women who like Star Trek liked it when it was Star Trek, and now they change it into this feminized version of these franchises. I'm going to talk about this on my live stream. They're just not as popular, are they? Not popular amongst anybody who used to watch it, and just not popular in general, because you know what? People can tell. It's an innate ability. People can smell the truth of the matter, and the truth of the matter is Doctor Who is a platform, and it's being, and there's very little you can do to disguise that, because it is a platform, right? So that was the basic idea behind the Timeless Child. Fortunately for me, it blew it because I feel it's got a real racist underpinning. Fortunately for me, it also blew up canon. So Doctor Who fans like myself were like, okay, listen, I can put up with your kind of clearly racist intentions. I won't say anything. But now you've blown up Doctor Who as well, and it's boring, and it's not very good, and it's not very popular. Fandom was not buying it. So there are no timeless children, because you need the audience to accept it, and the audience hasn't accepted it, and there's not enough people who like it and will embrace it that can support it. You need an audience, and we have said, I think quite clearly, quite categorically, no, thank you. Not today, please. No, thank you very much. So the Master is a timeless child. So are you. So am I. So is everybody. That's what infinite means. That's what it means. Everybody's a Doctor. And that's the other thing. They wanted to take out the specialness of being the Doctor by diluting him, making him a billion different Doctors, because they don't like people being special, because it makes them feel bad that they're not special, they're not extraordinary. So everybody has making it everything bland, everything boring, and it just not working. Fine. After 13 and a half minutes of babbling, let's read this stupid story. Doctor Who theory: the Master is a timeless child too. Doctor Who season 12 apparently changed the dynamic between the Master and the Doctor forever. No, because it's gone. It's going to be forgotten. Doctor being half human on his mother's side. Forgotten. It's forgotten. It's an embarrassment. This is just like that. We're an embarrassing part of our history. This is bell-bottom flares and a kipper tie. It happened. We can't deny it happened, but we're all kind of embarrassed about it. And the more time goes by, the more embarrassed we're going to be. How embarrassed? Watch Troll the Time Lord and watch Mel gasp about a megabyte modem, and then times that by 1 billion. That's how embarrassed we're going to be by this. Well, could the iconic figure be a timeless child too? Yes, I think by definition it has to be. Doctor Who season 12 revealed the Doctor is actually the timeless child, blah blah blah. But the Master could potentially be one too. Nobody can fault the current Doctor showrunner on his ambition. I can. Well, his ambition was to receive woke points from his insane racist friends for making the Doctor a woman and filling it full with these his objectionable and somewhat bonkers ideas on personality, ideas on identity and interpersonal relations. Yeah, his insanity, his ideological agenda. That was his ambition. His ambition was to be told he's a good boy. He's a super good boy. Unfortunately, he's found out he's not a very good boy. He's a bit of a silly boy. Maybe he should stand in the corner. Maybe stand in the corner there, Chris. Put a little pointy hat on. That's a good idea. Can you put the pointy hat on? No, you're too busy putting your white hood over your head, aren't you? Anyway, on his ambition, Doctor Who Season 12 rewrote the show's lore, revealing the Doctor is not a Time Lord as well. Rather, she is in fact the timeless child, the gormless child, and being potentially predates the universe itself. And who became the base genetic code for the entire Time Lord race? Snort. Yeah, like he said, he came up with this when I was 16. Feels kind of like it. Yeah. It's a shocking twist. It's left the fan base divided. Nope, it united the fan base. It united the fan base after being divided for a few years. It united us. So we have, I would say, 80% people going, yeah, I'm not really into this, and 20% people are saying, I've got a bit of egg on my face. So I'm gonna double and triple down on this. But again, it's all about alliances. It's all about allegiances and alliances. So, if you don't accept Chris Chibnall's Doctor Who, therefore you are okay with throwing children in cages. That's 100% accurate about of how these insane people think. It's when you say it sounds insane, doesn't it? But they think if you do not accept the timeless children, you're okay in the real world of them making cages to put children in. They put those children in the cages because they don't like their skin color. That's how they view it. Doesn't matter that is entirely detached from reality on so many levels. That is how they view the world. So that's why they fanatically support Chris Chibnall's Doctor Who, because they're not on board for children being ripped away from their parents because they're brown and put in the cages. They don't want to be on board with that. Again, it doesn't matter. That's not happening. That's just where their heads are. Okay, so that's the kind of insanity we're dealing with here. There's a mind base divided. No, some are willing to wait and see what happens next. Yes, some, not many, but some. I would say that's the middle ground you have now. I think you have about 80% people going, actually, let me say it. I'm gonna be generous. I'm gonna say I think you have about 60 to 70% of fandom went, nah, this is awful. So you had about 10 to 15 to 20% who are the nutballs who are like, who say, well, I gotta like it because I don't want children thrown into cages because they're brown. No, so you have those nutballs, right? You got that, and then that's 15-20%. So I think you probably have about 20-30% left, however the demographics work out, of people who are like, let's see where they go. Maybe they're going to put this back together again. Maybe. I don't think you got many people like that, but you have some. Where it used to be, before Timeless Children, I think you had, my guess, again, and I'm being generous, I think you had about 20 to 30% of the fandom that absolutely hated this era. Maybe more, because we were told to shut up if ever we dared open our mouth and gave any critique. And any critique we gave was always like, oh, you just really don't like that she's a lady. Because that's what they could hide behind when it's utter nonsense. So I'm going to say, I'm going to be generous, say 20-30% who absolutely hated. You had, again, constant 10 to 15, 20% who adored it because they don't want children thrown into cages. Oh, no. You have 10 to 50% of those. And then you had the middle ground, 50% in the middle who just wanted us all to shut up. Yeah, and they were like, okay, it's not very good, but I can live with it. Just shut up and stop with the screaming. But honestly, it's what can I tell you? Fine. In truth, it's while others weren't so some are willing to wait and see, while others weren't quite so generous. I may be on that side, but again, I don't think you're talking about me. I still think you're talking about that middle ground of fans, that 50%, which you really lost with this. In truth, it's probably too soon to properly evaluate the timeless child retcon. Yeah, right now we're trying to evaluate the effects of season 11, not even season 12. Season 11, I think, clearly gave disastrous data to the BBC that showed they weren't able to market this show in anywhere near the same way they had been able to prior to season 11. And I think that's exactly why the Time Lord Victorious, the initiative by BBC Studios, was born, because they have the first-hand data and they know how much it's failing. They know how clearly it's failing. So they have that data and they're like, well, I guess we better do something. They haven't even got to evaluating the fallout from season 12, which is like a billion times worse. So it just, again, comparing it, I would say the fallout is something like, before season 12, we were like Game of Thrones season 8, episode 1 or 2, right? They were like, after season 12, people are on, like, that penultimate episode, the bells, right? Or whatever. Yeah, and when people are like, no, this is terrible, and we hate it entirely. I think that's where fandom is right now. And again, I'm sure you have some. I'm sure you have some people who actually genuinely like it. Yeah, I don't want to disparage anybody to say it's not. I don't understand it, and it's very hard to understand something that you're not in the mindset. Like, look, the best example of that are people's kinks and fetishes. Like, there are a lot of people who are really into feet, right? Really into feet, like gets them really excited. Doesn't do it for me at all. I was like, I just look at it and go, well, I see the same amount like eroticism from that as I do from like a blender. And I understand there are people out there who are super into blenders. Okay, whatever floats your boat, baby. I am not, I'm not moralizing to you. It's a bit odd. But yeah, whatever floats your boat. That's it. Yeah, whatever it is, it's fine. But if you're not a person who can who is in that mindset, you can't understand it. Like, why is somebody turned on by feet? Yeah. So I feel the same way about people who actually genuinely like this era of Doctor. I'm like, what? I feel the same way about camping as well. To give you a more general. I'm like, really? Camping sounds awful. Like, in the early seasons of The Walking Dead, you had them like camping out to avoid the zombies. I would rather be eaten by the zombies than live that way. I really would. And you think that sounds like an extreme statement? No, I just really don't like camping. I like having a bed. I like having a bed. I like having walls. I like having a ceiling. All these things are things that make the rabbi happy. Having a bed, having walls, having ceilings. I like all those things. Maybe a window. Well, a window's not bad either. Yeah, it's probably too soon to probably evaluate the Timeless Chill retcon because it's clearly only the beginning of the story that Chibnall's intends to tell. That's true, but will he be able to get to finish it? That's the question. It's been really silent. It's been really, really silent about what's happening with season 13. Now, obviously, there is the pandemic going on, and the filming restrictions in Wales are prohibitive, right? So there is that going on, but there is also the undeniable complete crash of Doctor Who's popularity. That's also going on. You can't really deny either of those things going on. And I think one is probably going to be used as a smokescreen for the other. By the way, I started watching Staged last night. That's freaking brilliant with David Tennant and what's his name? The other guy. The guy who everybody wants to be Doctor Who and was in Good Omens. What the hell's his name? Whatever. I'm going to remember. I can see you all putting this in the comments for me right now. I'm going to remember the exact millisecond. Michael Sheen. There you go. I was going to the exact millisecond I finished this video, but no. That's really, really fun. I recommend that. Noel from the Hardison recommended that to me. So is he ever going to finish the story? My thinking is that if the festive special doesn't get a strong reception, this is the end of this era of Doctor Who. Again, and the reason I'm basing it on is no insider logic at all. No insider knowledge. It's purely based on logic. Logic is it's failing horribly. So why would you continue failing horribly if failure matters? Why? I don't know. So yeah, that's my theory. I think if it doesn't do very well, and I heard it might get the 5:20 slot on Christmas Day, which means, by the way, I'm not going to be able to watch it when it goes out because for me that's Friday, and for me that's going to be a Sabbath. So I don't watch TV or go online for that. So that's I guess I'll just have to wait till Saturday night when the Sabbath ends. That's if they put it there. But the 5:20 slot, that's a children's TV slot, right? Which is probably their best bet. It's probably their best bet to put it there. But It's not going to do well. It's not going to. I think it's probably going to get under 3 million. Oh, wouldn't it be great if it gets under 2 million? Oh, wouldn't that be fantastic? Yeah. Anyway, so that's why I don't think we heard anything. I don't think. And it seems to me quite probable that they will not get the chance to do another to continue telling this obnoxious story, and I don't think they care about it enough to move it into different media. I don't think Christian will cares about enough to write a book to wrap everything up. I just don't think they give a damn. I think they care about Doctor Who being a platform, and if you're doing a book which is not something to a mass audience but something to a teeny tiny small audience, then like as a Doctor Who book would be, there's no point. So I don't think they care. The Doctor has been rewritten. The show is sure to explore her background in future detail going forward. I doubt we're even going to see Big Finish go back at this. Like, again, why would they? I mean, is there enough of a client base to buy like Doctor Ruth DVD CDs? I don't know. Actually, there might be. I really don't know. You know what they should do? Crowdsource it, right? Crowdfund. Yeah, I'm funny. Yeah, I'm putting round. Was it? Crowdfund it. If they do, they do. If they don't know, I mean, I doubt they're gonna. But okay. In a slightly future season, will attempt to explain the continuity problems. Yeah, because they didn't realise it when they did it, because they didn't care. And it's surely only a matter of time before viewers get to meet the Doctor's true race of origin. I doubt it. I don't think that's in the offing at all. And honestly, do I care? I don't really care, but I doubt it. Surprisingly, little attention has been paid to one aspect of Doctor Who lore. Has the Master been ruined forever as the Doctor's greatest nemesis, or is there a way to restore him? Why would he be ruined forever? Listen, Sacha Dhawan's portrayal was a bit goofy. I think it was more like a meddling monk than a master. But at least he had conviction. At least he had passion. And I like a bit of passion. But, whatever. It's like, I guess I got to explain to us. The Master is no longer the Doctor's opposite. Yeah, just one of the other many stupid things they've done. When the Master first made his appearance in 1971, memorably paid by the late Roger Delgado, he would envisage as the Doctor's equal and opposite. Yeah, that was a good idea. The idea was to create a sort of Moriarty figure for the Doctor Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, Terrence Dixon spoke about this many times. A being who could travel, who could time travel. Well, they did that with Meddling Monk, and who could travel time and space, whose intelligence rivaled the Doctor. Okay, so fine. It was also, Master always works as a dark mirror of the Doctor. So, you had the Pertwee Doctor, who was very suave for the 70s. Right now, it's kind of like with the big frilly shirts and the velvet jacket, the big bow tie. Not so suave anymore, but in 1971, that was really, really cool. But Delgado was like also very, very suave. Yeah, very suave. And so, it was a very good mirror image. The Ainley Master a little bit had that. We had the Desiccated Master with Tom Baker, and again that was a kind of gothic horror thing, which just fits. The Ainley Master, I think they just thought, the Master, let's bring him back. And I know Anthony Ainley. And by the way, the Big Finish audio with John Kosher doing Ainley and Delgado, pretty darn good. The story for the Ainley one is actually excellent. I really like that. Sorry for the Delgado one. Sorry for the Delgado one. The problem is they insert something into Doctor Who lore into it at the end, and it's a new writer, and I wish her well. I just feel that's a bit of a crutch to do a story on. Like Ben Aronowitz, right? His audition piece was essentially an early draft of Battlefield, and the reason he did that, he wanted to do something completely free of Doctor Who lore, right, to show what he can do without having a crutch. And then from that he got Remembrance of the Daleks, which, wow, when they lay him on with Doctor Who lore, that was pretty darn good. Fine. Dynamite and Doctor Master immediately captivated the audience over the next 2 years. He was woven into every single Doctor Who story with Delgado's Master, Pertwee, Lockyer, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we know. I've seen it before. BBC wisely chose not to use the Master for several years, only bring it... No, they were going to use him, but he died. Delgado died. By the way, I think the Time Monster DVD has this really, really touching, beautiful tribute to Delgado. And was it Ian Levine? Benton? Is it Ian? No, not Ian Levine. Oh man, what's his name? Benton was, practically in tears. I mean, very close, and decades later, showing the absolute love he had for the person. He told him personal story. That is if you're wondering if you're looking for that DVD to buy, I would recommend that one just for that extra. It's absolutely beautiful. Fine. So that's the reason they didn't bring him back, morons, because he was dead. And they didn't want to recast him. BBC why didn't for several years. Only bringing back from 1976 The Deadly Assassin, the gap seems to only increase the Master's legend. And viewers considered him to be the Doctor's greatest nemesis. Fast forward to 2005, Doctor Who relooks Russell T Davies couldn't resist using the Master. Well, he resisted it for 2 bloody years, you imbecile. Relaunched it. What are you talking about? As the principal villain season 3. In the modern era, he's been played by a succession of top quality actors, Derek Jacobi, John Sim, Michelle Gomez, and now Sacha Dhawan. All that's accurate. But here's the catch. Finally, okay, now we've finished with the history lesson. Here's the catch. The dinosaur retcon has changed the Master forever, diminishing his significance. He is no longer the Doctor's equal, rather he's just another Time Lord, grossly limited in comparison to the Doctor. Yeah, again, they do this all the time. Every time they feminize a franchise, every time they do it, they firstly make it that the female version of the franchise didn't receive whatever her special power is from a man. It's always got to be, oh no, really, it actually came, the man was an aberration, there was always a woman. And I know it sounds crazy, but it's also true. It's also true. It's crazy. That's the first thing there. And then they give this character unbelievable superpowers, like overpower them completely because they're a woman, and women have to be the bestest ever because they're sexist, racist morons who I don't think like women very much, or at least have any interaction with them. He's no longer the Doctor's equal. Grace Limited. To the Doctor, all his powers and abilities originated to the Doctor herself. As the one noted in an interview with Doctor Who magazine, the Master is now being forced to accept the brutal truth. No matter how much the Master tries, the Doctor will in a way always be superior to him. Little wonder that drove the Master to feats of madness, even when he was not considered. Even he had not considered before, like destroying Gallifrey. No. The reason you destroy Gallifrey, what you do with something that you don't, when you don't know what to do with it, is you blow it up, right? You crash it, you blow it up. Discovery just did it this week. They had Discovery, and what should we do with it? Let's crash it on the planet. Let's crash it on the planet because the crash is always fun. It goes bang, it's all exciting. If you rattle something, you make a noise, you don't notice the absolute lack of substance beneath it, right? That's essentially what happened. But is there a way to restore the classic Master Doctor dynamic, or is that changed forever? Yeah, there's ways. So the Master is officially relegated to another bagger. Yeah, obviously, look, there's a way of fixing anything with the Timeless Children. There's a way of fixing freaking anything with the Timeless Children. It means inserting reams upon reams of extra plot in it to make it work, which I think is a sign of you haven't really done it that well, right? You're not doing that well. There is one striking possibility that Martyrs could be a timeless child as well. According to Doctor Who Season 12, the ancient Gallifreyan explorer Tector discovered the timeless child at the foot of the mysterious boundary, which we never heard of or been to again, or they've done no research on whatsoever, and they're not interested in. To some other universe or plane of existence. I mean, the way they're going is they're gonna make Doctor Who into a multiverse, right? That's how they're going to explain it. There's going to be infinite Doctors. Boring. While it's true, those visions suggest there was only one timeless child. One question went both unasked and consequently unanswered. The Matrix stores an accumulation of memories of the Time Lord. So just whose eyes were the Doctor and the Masters looking through? It could, oh God, who cares? It could have been was that whole bit in Wales or whatever it was that for me just seemed to be desperately they're trying to pretend they're called the midwife. And if you're channel surfing, you see it, and then you come across it, you go, oh, cool, the midwives have started. I better keep watching, and then they might get a few extra viewers. Didn't really work out very well. Lowest rated ever, apart from 2 episodes of Battlefield in '89. Not really something to hang your hat on. Lowest rated ever, I think, until they continue, right? Until they, I always say the best thing this era of Doctor Who could do for me. I mean, the best thing they can do for me is just admit they're wrong, start making good Doctor Who. The second best thing they can do is make Doctor Who and show it. Just make Doctor Who and show it, because, does that give me material? Fine, Timeless Child. Could it be they're unknowingly witnessing a second Timeless Child who was found? Okay, well, this is just nonsense. So now they're saying there's 2 Timeless Children? Yeah, dude. This is the definition of clutching at straws. Should be Detective 1 has adopted 2 children, not one. God, this is the dumbest thing ever. Really? Yeah. If we make it fundamentally different, it might work. Yeah, very good. You make it fundamentally different, it might work. Should be Detective 2 children. I'm not assuming that. Shut up, idiot. And if they do make it that is the worst form of writing possible. When you add in significant facts without just out the blue to save your ass. It's like one of those Republic serials, right? Where you have the cliffhanger at the end, and then when they do the recap, they add in a door opens up, they can jump out. I was like, don't, ridiculous. Not one, then there are gaps in the Master's history could be inserted. Say, why wouldn't they? God, this is so dumb. Thomas Bacon, this is so dumb. If you're a real person, this is so dumb. I can't find his social media. I bet he is screaming about politics 24/7 when he's not doing this nonsense. The Timeless Child first regenerated. Well, what are they? Both the base source code for everyone for regeneration? Okay. The scene was intriguing and stylistically reminiscent of the classic Doctor Who story Logopolis. No, it wasn't. In which the Master forced Tom Baker's full Doctor to regenerate. What happened with it? What? They're talking about when it was knocked off the cliff while playing with another child. Okay, so now in your mind, that's the Master, who's also a Timeless Child, who can also regenerate infinitely. There's nothing like Logopolis at all. Oh my God! This particular similarity is all the more striking when you remember Christian is a dedicated fan of the original series. I don't believe that anymore. So it's possible the Timeless Child first regeneration was actually precipitated by the Master. God! Oh my God! This is just. I think that was pathetic and desperate are the only really ways of describing this. This is why I don't read these before I do the videos. I want you to see my genuine reaction, because they're always like, what? Really? If this is the case, the Doctor and the Master presumably lived side by side a billion years. For a billion years of timeline history, and again, so they're everybody. They would presumably have both experimented on Tecton. Oh God, this is so annoying. Yeah, why didn't you add in a bunch of more stuff to make it and maybe then a Doctor became Ronald McDonald, right? Ronald McDonald, and he took on the Hamburglar, and the Hamburglar was really the Master. Yeah, it worked there. God, idiots. Notice that, they're trying to justify this nonsense. Notice that in one scene showing a pre-Hartnell Doctor recruited by the Time Lords to work for a secret. There's nothing to indicate they're a pre-Time Lord Doctor and they're working for the secret group of the Division. The Doctor is not alone. It's possible an incarnation stood by. It's possible. The Doctor appears to be a precursor of the Division appears to be a precursor of Celestial Intervention Agency. No, they just was too stupid to tie it together. Kind of blah, blah, blah. Significantly, the CIA, because both the Doctor and Master be useful assets, blah, 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 blah. Such I'm sorry, I'm skipping. Such a man's performance as the Master was one of the one of the highlights of season 12. I think one of the only highlights. And even that was ridiculously over the top and not very good. But again, I just liked him being happy to be there, which I don't get the feeling anybody's happy to be there. As the Master was one of the highlights of Doctor Who's season retcon, it would be a shame to see his carnation of the character become less important. Yeah, listen. Listen. A lot of this stuff is a shame. And the reason it's a shame is because it's going to be forgotten. It's going to be forgotten everywhere forever because nobody likes this. Nobody accepted it. The Master is not a Timeless Child. The Doctor is not a Timeless Child. Jodie Whittaker is not the Doctor. At please, this Doctor is different from every other Doctor. Yeah, I read the article yesterday about how she wanted to play it completely differently. So the way she's choosing to play it differently is to be an idiot conformist virtue signaler, as opposed to a genius revolutionary moral giant. So yeah, swings around, virtually the same, except completely opposite in every way, shape, and form. And believe me, I would hate this if it was played by a man as it was played by a woman. It is freaking awful, and I think there's quite a bit of fandom feels the same way as I do. My name is Phelan Beckin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified of when new videos drop.